بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبيه الكريم وبعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. I'd like to welcome everyone this evening to our last Ramadan Ta'aleem, in which inshallah our dialogue will surround the rulings of Eid al-Fitr. And I would like to start today's conversation by testing your knowledge. So I'm going to start with what is the ruling for the Eid?
In terms of what?
In terms of attendance.
Like the number of people attending?
No. Attendance period.
Oh, okay. So can I?
You may. I have a couple of hands. Go ahead.
Okay. This way, yes. That it is Fardul Kifaya for the community, but it is Fardul Ayn. Like it's not Fardul Ayn. It's Fardul Kifaya for the community, and it is recommended for you to go. And that as long as it is done in the community, then the community obligation is lifted.
Okay. Anyone else? There was another hand up back there somewhere, someone. Okay, so the answer was that the Eid is Fardul Kifaya, which means what? Communal obligation. And that it's a recommendation. As long as that obligation is fulfilled by the community, the obligation is lifted from everyone attending. Am I understanding that correctly?
Is that what you said?
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. I have another hand up, yes.
It's also, it's not wajib for women to attend, but it's highly recommended.
Okay, it's not wajib for women to attend, but it's highly recommended. Okay. So, in the madhab, whether it's anyone else? In the madhab, attending Eid al-Adha and Eid al-Fitr is sunnah mu'akkada. A sunnah mu'akkada is an established sunnah, basically meaning that the Prophet ﷺ, this is an act which Prophet ﷺ never abandoned. One, meaning that he did this regularly. And two, he encouraged people to participate. And three, he did it publicly. So this isn't something that he did behind closed doors alone at home. He encouraged others to come out and participate. And he did what? He did this regularly. In the madhab, that type of sunnah is regarded as an obligation. So in essence, unless a person has a legitimate excuse for not attending Salatul Eid, they must attend. Unless a person has a legitimate excuse for not attending Salatul Eid, they must attend. Okay? So that is the ruling according to the Malikiya with regards to attending Salatul Eid. What is the meaning of the word Eid? Who knows? What does the word Eid mean? Anyone? Guess? I have a couple of hands. Anyone? Yeah, go ahead.
Islamic festival.
Islamic festival, okay. Anyone else?
Celebration.
Celebration, okay. Anyone else? Okay.
Ooh,
Yeah.
coming together.
Coming together. That fits there as well. The word Eid actually means a recurring celebration. Okay? So this is something that happens regularly. In essence, it happens every year. So that's what the word Eid means. What does the word Fitr mean? What do you think? You have Fitr. And during the fast, there was a word that we use that resembles Fitr. Iftar. Iftar is a reference to what?
Opening.
Opening?
Or breaking.
Opening or breaking. Okay. So this is a reference to what? So we say Eid al-Fitr, this is the Eid that you're celebrating what?
The breaking of Ramadan?
The breaking, absolutely. The breaking of that routine. The routine that you engaged in for 29 or 30 days. You're breaking that cycle. You're celebrating that. So what exactly are you celebrating? What are we celebrating when we celebrate the Eid? Specifically, Eid al-Fitr. What are we celebrating?
The completion of the sacrifice, well, not the sacrifice, no, not that sacrifice. Our personal sacrifice and struggle, like that you committed to during Ramadan.
Okay. You're celebrating your personal sacrifice and struggle. Anyone else? Anyone? So you're celebrating on two levels. Part of your celebration is personal. Other part of the celebration is communal. The personal part of your celebration, as Sister Fatima mentioned, you're celebrating your sacrifice and what was that? What else did you say? Sacrifice and struggle. Each and every one of us had personal goals for Ramadan. So you're celebrating, inshallah, accomplishing your goals. And your goals, you reaching your goals is worthy, absolutely worthy of celebration. You're celebrating your compliance to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by abstaining from food, drink, bad behavior, and rude comments for the duration of the month. Some of us had goals of losing weight. I'm not talking about the type of weight that you think. The type of weight that I'm talking about is those sins. You got rid of a lot of that stuff. You got rid of a lot of that baggage. You modified your behavior. You lost a lot of bad things that you were carrying on your back. And during Ramadan, alhamdulillah, you successfully shed a lot of those things. So you lost a lot of that. In the process, we probably lost a couple of pounds because we modified our eating habits as well. You got closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by praying more, praying on time, reading more Quran, remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more, recognizing His favors upon you by sharing more. You engaged in denying yourself. So you shared the experience of a person that is less fortunate of you, a person that is deprived. You shared in that experience. And the interesting thing about the fast is not only did you share in that experience, but at the very end of the month, which most of us are obligated to do, not only sharing in the experience, but we're also obligated to physically demonstrate our gratitude by giving to the less fortunate, which is zakat al-fitr. And zakat al-fitr is an obligation. It's not optional. It's not something that you can choose to do or choose not to do. If you have the means, you absolutely must pay zakat al-fitr. Most importantly, you're celebrating that anticipated reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for completing a successful fast. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man sama Ramadana imanan wa ihtisaban, ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbihi." That he who fasts month of Ramadan out of faith and anticipation of reward, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive them their sins. So you're celebrating renewal, inshallah. Once you exit Ramadan, you're a new person, inshallah. Now, as a community, so that's the visual, as a community, we're celebrating the shared purpose, the coming together of brothers and sisters worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We celebrate by congratulating each other. It is sunnah to say the following: تَقَبَّلَ اللَّهُ مِنَّا وَمِنْكُمْ. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from us and you. تَقَبَّلَ اللَّهُ مِنَّا وَمِنْكُمْ. Celebrate family. During the time of the Eid, families traditionally come together. And it's part of our faith. As a matter of fact, is an obligation that we maintain family ties. So during during the Eid, the time when we connect with our family and connect with other families. Traditionally, people invite families over to their home, and that again helps to foster stronger community relationships and brotherhood. And some of us engage in gift giving or gift bearing or gifting, which is a strong sunnah, as the Prophet ﷺ said, "Tahadu, tahabbu. Tahadu, tahabbu." Gifting leads to what? Stronger relationships and increased love and appreciation for one another. So he put it in the form of the affirmative. Tahadu, tahabbu. Give gifts, and this will be the result. So, going back to the whole brotherhood piece, from being together, experiencing that spiritual connectedness by praying together, seeing your brothers and sisters that you haven't seen in a long time, or the brothers and sisters that you've seen during Ramadan, and I'm happy for you, and you're happy for me, because we did this together, alhamdulillah. We got through this. The brothers and sisters that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us to help through zakat al-fitr, we see them, we're happy for them, and they're happy for us, even though they may be unaware that you're the one that helped them to have a successful and a happy Eid. That's that type of connection that we celebrate on the day of the Eid. And that is specifically Eid al-Fitr. So I would like to now move on to some of the more technical aspects of the Eid. And I'm going to start with, we've already mentioned the ruling regarding attendance, and we're going to move on now to you actually leaving your home. So it's sunnah for you when you leave your home, or before you leave your home rather, that you eat something. This is for Eid al-Fitr, not Eid al-Adha, that you eat something. And eating is symbolic. You eating the morning of the Eid is symbolic. It symbolizes what? That you are not fasting. It is haram for anyone. It is prohibited for anyone to fast the day of Eid al-Fitr. You cannot do that. If you have days to make up, you have to wait until day 2. You cannot fast the day of the Eid. To fast the day of the Eid is to extend the fast beyond the 29 or 30 days, which again is prohibited. Eid al-Fitr is one day. It's a one-day Eid. It's not a 3-day Eid. Eid al-Fitr is a one-day Eid, not a 3-day Eid. The 3-day Eid is Eid al-Adha, which is referred to as the Grand Eid or the Eid al-Kabir. Eid al-Fitr, however, is one day. So upon leaving your home, you should begin reciting or saying Takbiratul Eid. Saying the Takbirah is a sunnah. It's a recommendation. Takbiratul Eid, which inshallah a little later we're going to go over. We should say it, and we should say it from the time that we leave home until the Imam ascends the minbar. When the Imam ascends the minbar, that is a signal to you to stop saying the Takbirah. It is also sunnah for you to bathe the morning of the Eid, to make a ghusl before you leave home to come to the Eid. It is also sunnah for you to wear your best clothes. The presentation is important. How we feel about our faith is important. And I mentioned earlier with regards to attendance. Attending Salat al-Eid is, according to the Malikiya, a strong sunnah which equates to obligation in the madhab. And aside from a person risking losing employment, they should attend. If a person can take off of work, they should not opt to work as opposed to attending Salat al-Eid. Because you're missing out on a lot. You're missing out on a lot of reward. You're not in compliance. And to get a little more technical with regards to a strong sunnah, the obligatory act that is not done carries a promise of punishment. The person can't say that Fulan didn't do A, B, C, and D, therefore he's going to be punished definitively because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can forgive anything. However, we can say that the person is liable for punishment. Not attending Salat al-Eid does not carry that label. However, a person can be criticized for not attending Salat al-Eid. unless the person, of course, had a legitimate excuse or reason. Making ghusl, as I said, is sunnah. Wearing your best clothes is sunnah. Looking nice. Having some type of pride in your holiday, in your sha'air, your symbols of faith and worship. Taking pride in that. Taking pride in that, in how you look, how you approach it, by attending, when you leave your home, your attitude, when you say the takbir. If you're not uttering the takbir, you're not feeling it. How can you not feel it when you, inshallah, are a great winner? Now imagine if somebody came to you and said, handed you a lottery ticket. Here you go. $500 million. What would your response be? What would your response be? Let's assume that it was halal. Okay. Assuming that it was halal. And it was halal money. And you got this tremendous reward. What would your response be? Would you be somber? I'll take that $500 million. I'll take that. I guess I'll figure out something to do with that. Absolutely not. You break out in your happy dance. You be screaming, jumping up and down. On the day of the Eid, that's how you should feel. Because on the day of the Eid, you hit the jackpot, inshallah. And when you say Allahu Akbar, subhanallah, you're praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a reason. You're praising Him. He's the only one that is deserving of praise. But you're thanking Him subhanahu wa ta'ala for rewarding you for your sacrifice. For forgiving you for your sins. For accepting your tawbah. For accepting your sadaqah. For cleansing you. For erasing those sins off of your scroll. We celebrate that. We carry that with us as we approach the Musalla for the Eid. As we sit waiting to hear from the Imam, we continue to celebrate aloud by saying Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahi alhamd. Now, while we're on the topic of the takbirah, there is no set way of saying takbiratul Eid, according to all of the Imams. So this whole business of takbiratul Eid is Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahi alhamd. That's it, and you can't say anything other than that. That's false. All of the Imams agree that if you say the short version, alhamdulillah, if you say long version, alhamdulillah, it's all good, it's all form of dua. It's all form of dua. And the more we praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the better off we are. It is also a strong recommendation that when you come to the Eid, you come to the Eid one way, and when you go home a different route. That's the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He did that traditionally. He did that regularly. He would come to the salah one way, and when he went back home, he would go a different way. And that symbolizes change. Now, we usually, well, this year we're going to be performing Salat al-Eid in the masjid. However, it is recommended that Salat al-Eid be done in a area that is not the masjid. Okay? Now, it's okay to do it in the masjid, and it's okay to do it outside of the masjid. When you attend the musalla, when you arrive at the musalla, or the masjid, if you arrive at the musalla, or if you arrive at the masjid, should you or should you not perform 2 rak'ahs as you do when you enter the masjid? Anyone? Somebody? That's a no. Okay. Anyone else? What was that?
Gina said no.
Gina said no as well. Okay. Anyone else? Those are 2 no's.
That's what we've been doing.
Okay. So why are you not performing 2 rak'ahs when you enter the musalla or the masjid? Now I need you to be specific. Specifically for the Eid. You said no. Why no? It was an educated guess. Okay. Anyone else?
I was just taught not to do it because it's before the Eid, it's before the Eid Salah, and some Salah that we're not supposed to do it before the Eid Salah.
Okay.
Or other Salah.
So, if you're praying outdoors, then you do not. Why? Because the 2 rak'ahs are reserved for the masjid, not the musalla. Musalla is an area where you perform a prayer occasionally, sometimes. The masjid is where salah is performed regularly. Those 2 rak'ahs are reserved for the masjid. So if you're praying in the masjid, you walk in the masjid, unless of course the imam is giving a khutbah, then you don't come in and you do your thing. In the Madhab, we don't do that. Now, I don't know if we were aware of that. Although, with regards to the Eid, the difference between khutbah al-Eid and khutbah al-Jum'ah is that khutbah al-Jum'ah, you are obligated to give the imam your full attention. So entering into the masjid, while the imam is on the minbar giving the khutbah and you standing up and praying constitutes you not giving the imam full attention in the madhab. So you don't do that. When you come to the masjid, the imam's on the minbar, you sit. You don't come into the masjid and you start making salah while the imam is giving the khutbah. Because you giving the imam your full attention is an obligation. Praying your 2 rak'ah is sunnah. So we do not place the sunnah before the obligation or the wajib. Now as far as Salat al-Eid, if you come into the masjid, you can pray your 2 rak'ahs while the imam is on the minbar. Should you? No, you should actually sit down and listen to the khutbah. Because khutbah al-Eid is part of you attending the Eid, and attending the Eid is a strong sunnah. Yes?
So can you go back to, just to wrap up this piece. If praying outside, you don't make the 2 rakats, but if you come in before the Eid Salah to the masjid and the Eid prayer is taking place in the masjid, do you pray the 2 rakats?
You can pray the 2 rakats, but if the imam is on a minbar, you should not. You should sit down and attend or listen to the khutbah.
Talking about before the prayer.
This is after the prayer.
Right, so
before the prayer, yes. I mean, if they're doing the takbirah, so you come in, you can make it to the sunnah as if the Eid is being performed in the masjid. Absolutely. Yes.
Can you make those 2 rak'ah just before you leave the masjid? Can you come in and the imam is already giving the khutbah, so you sit down But before you leave the masjid.
Absolutely, you can stand up and make those afterwards, indeed. If a person misses Salatul Eid, should they make it up? I heard a lot of no's.
But what do you mean, make up like then or make up like another time? What do you mean make up?
Well,
What do you mean make up?
so person that came to the master, or came to the Eid, Salah was over, the Imam is given khutbah. Should they now make up Salatul Eid?
Yes.
No.
There's a yes and there's a no.
You mean while the Imam is talking?
While the Imam is talking, after the Imam is done talking, period.
You mean like
Should it be made up?
Yes.
on their own?
No.
Yes. Okay. That's another no. Okay, if you miss it, you're not supposed to make it up. Yes?
Didn't hype him, boy.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Do you mean like when you're old or like if you have another Eid prayer? You know how they have second times for the Eid? Like do you mean on your own personally or do you mean go to the second Eid prayer? Second July.
Second Jamaat. That's a form of making up the Eid prayer.
In essence, yes, but on your own.
Okay.
What if
Yes.
What if you were to go to an Eid, so there's a masjid who has their prayer early,
Ah.
and you miss their prayer, but you're in time for another congregation's salah, could you do that?
Yes. You could do that.
Did you answer the question?
No, I didn't answer any question yet. But I just answered that question, that hypothetical. So, the answer to the question is, if a person misses Salatul Eid, and the Imam is giving a khutbah, you sit down. Once the Imam is done, you can make up Salatul Eid individually. You can, it's okay for you to do that. It's okay. Should you form a second Jamaat? Absolutely not. Second Jamaats speak to fitna. The same way, you are not supposed to, when you have an established Imam in a masjid, you should not make a second Jama'at after the Salah has been concluded unless. So when you have a group of people coming to the masjid, Salah has concluded. Another large group comes in and we're all making Salah. That speaks to fitna. Meaning that you have a split within the congregation, and now we have a second Imam. You don't have a second Imam, you have a single Imam. So if you miss the Salah, yes, you can make it up. You have to make it up. Let me rephrase that. You must make it up. Can you pray in congregation? Absolutely. However, we have to be aware of that element there.
So
is it better?
It's better for you to pray your makeup, to pray it alone, and not to pray it in congregation. So if you miss Salatul Eid, you know how to make up Salatul Eid, and the only way you can make up Salatul Eid is if you know how to make up Salatul Eid on your own.
but is it wrong to make it in?
You shouldn't make a second Jama'ah, because again, that speaks to fitna.
So then what about an established practice?
Yeah. So let's say
Such as what?
let's say that we come to the masjid, and it happens in big communities where they have a small space where you're praying inside. So they may say first Jama'ah at 7:30.
That's a different story. That's a different story. But we have well documented instances where you had fragmentation in the community, feuding parties in the community, and you have one set of prayer, and then you have another group coming in there, and that's how you're not supposed to do that. That's not what we're supposed to do. So to eliminate that, second jama'ahs are not permitted. You can pray alone, or you come one time and you pray with the jama'ah. But when it's an issue of space, that's a different story.
So then it should be, as a part of the prayer organization, it should be that the second congregation is planned for,
Absolutely.
as opposed to the spontaneous.
The second jama'ah, yes. In that case, if it's planned for, meaning that it's already known, it's foreknown that there are going to be two jama'ahs because of space restrictions, then there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
And if people show up late,
And if people show up late and they catch the second jama'ah, that's okay.
no, what I'm saying, if they show up late, it's better for them to make it individually as opposed to in congregation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's better for them to make it.
Are you saying that,
established second July or just?
I'm sorry, what was that?
So if a person comes in late, they come in, say there's a message that has two July, and they come in between the two.
Then they should wait until the second jama'ah performs the salah.
Okay.
But if there aren't any space restrictions, and the person came late, if they want to make up the salah, they can make it up alone.
And if that person doesn't know how to make it up by themselves,
Then, okay, that's a different story, and I'm going to say this now. So, that's something, because of the importance of Salat al-Eid, every Muslim should know how to perform Salat al-Eid. Every Muslim should know how to perform Salat al-Eid. You should know how to do it. Okay? So if the person doesn't know how to do it, then I'm stuck for a while. If a person doesn't know how to perform salah, then the person really needs they really need to learn how to do that because it's important.
So if a person is making up their Eid Salah, they should perform it with the requisite takbirat.
They should perform it by 7 takbirat, including takbirat al-ihram. The takbirat al-ihram is the opening takbirat. So that's the opening takbirat plus 7 more takbirats. In the madhab, we don't say anything in between the takbirats.
So it's total 8?
No, 7. I said including takbirat al-ihram. 7 including takbirat al-ihram. I'm sorry, takbirat al-ihram. So Allahu Akbar plus 6 more Allahu Akbar. Okay? You raise your hands once, the first time, and that's it. You don't raise your hand in the madhab. So again, when I say in the madhab, you raise your hands once, Allahu Akbar. Then the other 6 takbiras, you don't raise your hand. You don't salute the Kaaba every time you say Allahu Akbar, except for the first time. You don't say anything in between the takbiras, no dua, no anything. After the 7th takbirah, then you recite the Fatiha and the surah. There are recommended surahs for Salat al-Eid. You don't have to, you don't know those surahs, it's fine. You can recite any surah. Salat al-Eid is an audible salah, so you're going to recite out loud. It's 2 rak'ahs. When you come up for the second rak'ah, that first takbirah does not count. That's what we refer to as the transitional takbirah. Do you have a question?
no.
Okay.
I'm not here.
That we refer to that as a transitional takbirah. And then after that, you're saying 5 more takbiras. And then you're reciting another surah, the Fatiha and the surah, and then that concludes your salah. That's how Salatul Eid is performed. So every Muslim should know how to do it. And I know that sometimes this is not, the description of Salatul Eid is not something that's routine. It's not something that you do every day. So it's easy for a person to lose track of takbiras. Did I say 5? Did I say 6? Did I say 7? So you have to be zoned in. Salatul Eid, you absolutely have to be focused. Otherwise, it's easy to lose track of your takbiras. And believe me, it's happened before to imams. So it's happened. You lose count? Was that 6? Was that 7? Was it 8? Was it 9? End up doing 9. It happens. And if you happen, by chance, if you forget, you go over, you continue on with this, so it's not the end of the world. Yes?
No, that was the question. Like, if you make a mistake or you're not sure.
If you short it, you're fine. If you're not sure, usually the rule is, if you're unsure, you build on what you're sure of. So if you're sure you said 5, then you add 1. Even though you may have said 6, you may have said 7, you add it. But you build on what you are certain of. You're certain you said it 5 times or 4 times, then you continue on from that. Yeah.
Is there a difference of opinion regarding the number of takbiras? Because there are positions where you say
8 and 6, 7 and 5. Yeah.
5. Is there a position that says you say 3?
I'm sorry.
Like 3 and 3. So takbiratul ihram and then 3 in the first rak'ah?
No.
Mm-hmm. But there is a difference of opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a khilaf with regards to the number of takbiras. Okay, so 7 and 5, 8 and 6. Well, there's a khilaf with regards to that. The 3 is not a number.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. Sakina.
Can you tell what the recommended surahs are for?
So for Salatul Eid, it's recommended that you recite surahs such as Sabbih Isma Rabbika al-A'la, Surah Al-Ghashiyah, surahs like that. Maybe even Surah Al-Shams, Surah Al-Layl, Surah Al-Duha, these are all surahs. But in reality, any recitation is sufficient. But those are the surahs that Prophet ﷺ used to recite during Salatul Eid. And consequently, just for general knowledge, the first Eid was performed during the 2nd year after the Hijrah. The obligation of fast was instituted then. So that was the first Eid. There was no fasting during the Meccan period. There was no Ramadan during the Meccan period. Okay? That's general knowledge. Where are we? Oh, I have another hand up. Yes.
If you make a mistake in the salah, do you do the sujood forgetfulness or anything like that, or you just?
If you make a mistake so the type of mistake that you make in the salah where you take away, yes, absolutely.
But
That doesn't include the takbir. Yeah. Yes.
You said the 2nd year into Medina?
Yes. 2nd year of the Hijrah.
We didn't hear the question. What was the
I'm sorry?
What was the question? What did they just?
No, he was asking for clarification. I had stated that the first Eid that Prophet ﷺ performed was in Medina, was the 2nd year after the Hijrah. Yeah. Question. Do you call there than any Iqamah for Salatul Eid?
No.
So should someone get up and call their adhan for Salatul Eid?
No.
Answer to that is no. Is everyone in agreement with it?
Yes and no.
Yes or no? Okay.
You've never heard it done?
Either or.
No.
Okay, so the answer to that question is no, you do not call the adhan, nor do you call the iqamah. If by chance someone calls the adhan, is it the end of the world? Absolutely not. But it's not an established practice. That's not what you do. So generally what happens is when the imam is ready for salah, and as I stated, with regards to the takbirah, when you leave your home, you're saying the takbirah. You continue to say the takbirah up until the imam ascends the minbar. When the imam ascends the minbar, then the imam will call for the salah. How will that look? What would that sound like, the imam calling for salah? The imam calling for salah is not someone calling the iqamah. The imam will call you to stand for prayer. As-salatu jami'ah, which means that prayers in session, or qumu ila salatikum, stand for your prayer, or something similar to that. Let's pray works. That would be kind of awkward, though. Let's pray. Let us pray. That would be kind of awkward, but it works. There's no established saying for having people stand up for Salat al-Eid. Okay. I would like for us now to go over Takbiratul Eid. Are there any questions before we move on? Anyone? All right. So we're going to go over Takbiratul Eid, and if I can get a few of my helpers here to pass these out. I think you have more than enough. Let's share here. Here you go. Anyone else? Yeah. Let me take these off.
This is a long one. This is a long one. I'm recording.
So, Takbiratul Eid, there is no limit for the duration of the takbirah. Another thing that I needed to mention is that it is it's recommended for you to say the takbirah after the Fard Salah. On the day of the Eid only. After the Fard Salah, you don't say the long version. Traditionally, the short version is said after the Fard Salah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, wa lillahi alhamd. That's said 3 times and you're done.
Can you expound on that a bit? Because it's been noticed that people don't say the longer version, and somehow there's an understanding that the shorter version is the actual sunnah.
Yes. So the question was, and we mentioned this earlier with regards to the takbirah. There is this understanding, and this understanding is a recent understanding that Takbiratul Eid is restricted to the short version, which I just mentioned, and that anything beyond that is bid'ah. So people have become afraid to praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what it boils down to. I can't praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because I'm doing something wrong by saying La ilaha illallah. I mentioned earlier that according to all of the imams, there is no restriction with regards to whichever form of the takbirah you do. So if you say the short version, alhamdulillah. If you say the long version, alhamdulillah. The more you praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the better shape you are. The better shape you're in, the more you praise Him. So we need to get in the habit of praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We need to be wary of people who are trying to convince us that we don't need to praise Him. We need to be wary of people like that. We need to be wary of that. So the takbirah that we have here, and as I said earlier, and I really want to drive this point home, that it's important that the Eid is supposed to be, it's a festive occasion. And we demonstrate our happiness by praising Allah. And we praise Him aloud. And we praise Him often. And we want the world to know that Allah is Akbar. And we want to get in the habit of engaging in healthy behaviors, habit-forming behaviors. And we want to expose our children to that. So they need to hear us engaged in the takbirah. We have to lead by example. It can't be that, our children are reminding us. We have to lead by example. If we want them to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, love His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and love His deen, we have to lead by example. And saying the takbirah really is a small thing. It's a form of dhikr. It's a form of dhikr. So from the time you leave home until you can take a break, but make sure that you are engaged in this dhikr. So we're going to go over this, and before we start, we do have a recording of Takbirah today. It's on our SoundCloud page, and is it possible for you to email that out, please? Both versions of the Takbirah?
Inshallah.
There are two versions. The first version is a learning tool. So it's said slowly so that you can follow as you read. And then the other version is a version that you normally use when we say the takbirah during the Eid. So I'm going to read this once, and then we can read it as a group, inshallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahi alhamd. Allahu Akbar kabira, walhamdulillahi kathira, wa subhanallahi bukratan wa asila. لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أنصار سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا. So you have the Arabic, you have the transliteration, and then of course you have the translation. And I just remembered something that I wanted to say before we get back to Takbirah today, with regards to Khutbah today. Yes?
Is it wrong to sing? I learned it by singing.
Oh, no. We're about to do that now. Absolutely not, no. I want to say this with regards to Khutbah today. And I know that sometimes well, not sometimes, it's customary for some of us who pray Salat al-Eid, and either we have to leave or we want to leave, for us to get up and start engaging other people while the Imam is giving the khutbah. Is this haram? No. Is it makruh? Absolutely, it's disliked. See, listen, the khutbah is a service. It's a religious service. And we have to have enough respect for our faith not to interfere and interrupt with ibadah. That's basic adab. It's poor adab for you, the Imam is giving a khutbah and we're yucking it up in the back. That's not a good look. It's not a good look. The same way we absolutely have to respect our spaces, our sacred spaces. We gotta respect our sacred spaces. So, the sacred space isn't meant for all kinds of conversations. It's not a comedy. It's not that type of environment. We have to respect our sacred spaces. We have to respect our ibadah, our acts of worship. And the khutbah is an extension of that. We gotta respect that. So by chance, if someone needs to leave, please leave quietly. If you need to have an engaging conversation, take your conversation far away and do not disrupt the service. Because that's poor adab. Poor adab. And it's disturbing because we already know what the expectation is with regards to Jum'ah. The Jum'ah, alhamdulillah, it's a beautiful thing. Everyone's, for the most part, giving the Imam his, full attention, their full attention. But somehow for Salat al-Eid, because that obligation is lifted, we go too far. We go to so far where the Imam is now competing for attention. That's crazy. Imam shouldn't have to compete with you for the attention of the congregation. That's insane. That makes no sense. And that really shows a lack of respect. To me, it shows a lack of respect for your ibadah. If you're not interested in hearing the khutbah, you're not obligated to listen to the khutbah, but at least show some respect. Go somewhere and have your conversation. You don't have to catch up right there in the middle of the ranks. A lot of times this is what happens. We want to catch up in the middle of the ranks. Now, it's crazy. People want to hear the khutbah. The Imam is trying to deliver a message, and you're in the middle doing your thing. And we can't do that. That's poor adab. We have to respect our acts of worship. We gotta respect it, and we gotta respect our sacred spaces. And I'm gonna tell you, about maybe 4 or 5 years ago, we decided to put up these unconventional signs in the masjid. Quiet, please. No one should have to tell you to be quiet in the masjid because it's a sacred space. You shouldn't have to be told that. That's basic adab. That's basic respect for this space. No one should have to tell you that. No one should have to tell you that. When you go into other sacred spaces, regardless of the religious denomination, you walk in, it's a norm. You go in, there's peace, there's serenity. However that looks. You go in some spaces, people are whispering. We can't do the opposite. You walk into the masjid and it's like, wow, man, what is it, happy hour? What's going on here? And this place is live. If it's live with the remembrance of Allah, that's a beautiful thing. If we're in here talking about who the Sixers are going to draft and, you know, what was on, Scandal last night, and we're talking having all these interesting conversations, we can't do that. We cannot do that. When we do that, we're desecrating. That's a form of desecrating the sacred space and desecrating your ibadah. You can't do that.
Not only that, you discourage the angels from coming into their sacred space.
That's the other thing. I mean, see, but that's a level of iman. See, a person, when we talk about, you know, the dhikr, right? When you engage in this, okay, you're encouraging good company. See, now when you're leaving, walking out your door, you got some good company because they want to hear this. They're joining in with you. You're driving down a highway, and you and the crew. The crew isn't just you and your family. You got a crew traveling with you. SubhanAllah. How could you not want that? How could you pass up on that? How could you pass up on the opportunity for you to be mentioned by name to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Fulan, my servant, glorify me. Yeah, Fulan, he's glorifying me. How can you pass up on that? But that's a level of consciousness. It's a level of consciousness, level of understanding. And when you have that, you'll live by it. You'll seek it out. I want this. I want that company. And this is kind of, we could go on and on and on and on about this because this is extremely important. And it affects all aspects of our lives. And unfortunately, a lot of times we don't realize that. We're living in our homes, we're not, if Allah's name isn't being mentioned in our homes, the Quran isn't being recited in our homes, you have other company in sharing that space with you. It may not be the company that you want in your space, in your home, because Allah is not being glorified. You're not calling on Him. His words are not being recited in your home. That's real. You may not realize that that's real, but that's real. That's awareness. That's consciousness. Neither you have it or you don't. Can you gain it? Absolutely. But that's work. That's work that you have to engage in. That's dua that you have to make to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to increase you. We have to have a certain degree of awareness and consciousness. And, you know, the Friday, we talked about some stuff. And we're not going to talk about what we talked about Friday, but it's time. Muslims have to become more spiritual. When you're spiritual, you're humble. We have to become more spiritual. You become more spiritual by engaging in things like this. Connecting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more. In the different ways that you can connect with Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are many ways that you can connect with Him, and it starts with your salah. There are many ways that you can connect with Him, but you have to actively engage in those ways. So we're going to go over now. Was there another hand up? Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this just has to do with Jumu'ah prayer and, you know, the Maliki Method. When the khutbah starts on Friday, Jumu'ah prayer, isn't it the proper etiquette to just come in and take your seat and not even make 2 rak'ahs? Because the khutbah takes precedence over all of that.
Absolutely. Because giving the Imam your attention for khutbah al-Jum'ah is an obligation, whereas the sunnah for entering into the masjid is a sunnah. So the obligation, of course, supersedes the sunnah. Okay, so we're going to go over the takbirah. feel free to join in. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Walillahil hamd. Allahu Akbar kabira. والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أنصار سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وأعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره الكافرون اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أنصار سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Okay, so inshallah, you can take this if you already know it. Alhamdulillah, you need to brush up on it. You have it here. Again, as an encouragement, if you are unsure as to how to perform Salatul Eid, you need to learn how to do that. Okay, and again, this the first rak'ah, 7 takbiras, including the opening takbirah. You recite a surah, the Fatiha, and then a surah. Second rak'ah, 5 takbiras, not including the transitional takbirah, meaning the takbirah that you say when you're going from sujood to qiyam. Okay? And then you're going to recite again the Fatiha and a surah. And again, that's said aloud. Lastly, Zakat al-Fitr. We said that Zakat al-Fitr is an obligation. It has to be paid before Salatul Eid. You cannot pay Zakat al-Fitr after Salatul Eid. Okay? If you haven't done that before the Eid, you've missed it. And that's on you. That's between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. However that'll look for you, Allahu a'lam. There's something attached to not doing that. Clearly you're not in compliance at minimum. But if you are able to do it, if you're fiscally able to do it, you absolutely have to do it. Okay, that's something that is not optional. And it has to be done before Salah. It can be done up to 3 days before the Eid and not any time before that. Yes.
So question, I've been getting questions as to whether or not we'll be collecting Zakat al-Fitr electronically this year, and I haven't been saying yet. I didn't know how we want
Yeah, I mean, that's not an issue. That we can do.
Time limit still applies to 3 days.
Yes.
Is that something else?
We're not hearing the questions there.
Oh, so the question was whether or not we will be collecting zakat, accepting electronic payments for zakat al-fitr. And the answer to that was yes. That was the only question.
Somebody asked how much.
Someone asked how much? It's $10 per person. So if a person is 18 years of age and you have a job, if you're in school and you don't have any income, you're excused. But if you're working, you need to pay your own zakat. Okay? Head of household is responsible for himself and anyone he is taking care of. Any dependents, you have to pay zakat al-fitr for them as well. Yes.
That's what I was going to ask. If they live with you or if they don't live with you.
If they don't live with you and if they don't live with you and they are a dependent, well, they're not living with you, they shouldn't be a dependent. So, but if they are your dependent, absolutely. If not, they are responsible. No. Yes.
So, actually, is this could we start tonight after thing?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we will be celebrating Eid inshallah on Wednesday. We're starting the collection this evening inshallah. Yes. Okay. Anyone else? All right. There aren't any other questions, so we will close with dua. And I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He accept our fast during this blessed month of Ramadan, and that He accept our tawbah during this blessed month of Ramadan, that He accept our recitation of the Quran during this blessed month, that He accept our giving of ourselves and of our time, our time and our wealth during this blessed month of Ramadan. And please consider the hadith that I shared with you today. The Prophet ﷺ said, Tahadu, tahabu, please consider. Gifting is a beautiful thing in Islam. It's a beautiful thing. Please consider on the day of the Eid a little token. It doesn't matter. To someone, anybody. If you're giving a gift to your spouse, that's a wonderful thing. Give gifts to your kids, they already expect that. If you're not giving gifts to your kids, they're probably looking at you like, what's up with you? You know, what's that all about? How are you not giving me an Eid gift? But think or consider giving a gift to someone outside of your circle. Consider doing that. Pick someone randomly, somebody that you know, that you've never given a gift to before. It'll change your relationship, trust me. Consider that, and please, 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 morning of the Eid, please praise Allah. On your way to prayer, praise Him. Praise Him. If you're a head of household, you're driving the car, you do it. Get the kids involved. Get them involved. Get them in the habit of praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you know of someone that is not feeling the Eid, that has already expressed to you that they're not going to be in attendance, please have a conversation with them. Encourage them. Because they're missing out on a lot. And we want to share the good. We want to remind each other of good. Attending is something that we all should do. We should all engage and embrace the spirit of the Eid. And if some of us have been struggling this month, our struggling period, and some of us don't have our priorities straight. See, because dunya and deen. I'm always chasing dunya, the grind. You know, I gotta get this. I gotta get this now. I mean, you gotta thank Allah. Thank Allah, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you the opportunity to grind. Stop and thank Him. Stop and thank Him. Stop and say Allahu Akbar. Stop and say Alhamdulillah. He gave you that opportunity. He gave you the skill set. He gave you the energy. He gave you the education to do what you're doing. So at least stop and say Allahu Akbar. Encourage those of us who are struggling with that. Because I know a lot of people are struggling with that. Please encourage them, inshallah. We'll close with dua, inshallah. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.